All right, good evening, fellas. Today I wanted to talk about dealing with dry spells, how to get out of them, what to do if you're in a dry spell, if you've been in a rut when it comes to women, and how to fix it. Especially if you haven't had any play in a while, watch this video because I have some insane tips and tricks on how to get out of a dry spell. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory. So a few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, before I discovered self-improvement, I had entered a 2-year-long dry spell. And during this time of my life was kind of like a low point. And it was before I had discovered self-improvement, looks maxing, all this kind of stuff. So I was completely unaware of why I was actually even in a dry spell. I just, you get to this point where you almost kind of take a black-pilled approach and you just start wondering if something is wrong with you. What's wrong with the world? Why can't I just be normal? Why can't I just find a girlfriend? Why is it so hard to get with a girl? Why is it so difficult? And you get trapped up in your head. You start thinking all these thoughts. You start overthinking. You start thinking that you're never going to find someone. So what little confidence that you have ends up getting eroded. You end up having no confidence whatsoever because you're not getting any play at all. And you start getting to the point where the longer the dry spell goes on, or the longer you've been without having anything happen with a girl, it starts getting worse and worse. And you start to kind of give up on relationships and dating in general. But I'm here to tell you that there is a way to fix things and that there is a way to get out of the rut and dry spell. So let me give you a little bit of background. So this dry spell that I was in, it lasted about 2 years, a little bit over 2 years. That's an insanely long time for a guy to not have sex or to not even kiss a girl or hold her hand. Now, that's right, fellas. I didn't even kiss a girl during this whole 2 years, right? And before this dry spell, I never had problems with women. I never had issues. But what the root cause behind my dry spell was, and you're going to find out that you have a root cause behind your dry spell. Either you have one thing or several things that are causing it. So what was causing it for me was I was a gamer, I was smoking weed, I was out of shape, I was looking really unattractive because I was not taking care of myself, and I was just staying inside. So basically, what I'm trying to say is I was a loser. I was acting like a loser. I was addicted to a bunch of substances. I was out of shape. And financially, I wasn't doing well. Physically, I wasn't doing well. Spiritually, mentally, was not doing well. So when these traits, when your physical, your financial, your spiritual is all out of whack, your life is going to be out of whack. Your dating life is going to be out of whack. It's going to be harder for you to get women. It's going to be harder for girls to connect with you because you just come off as a loser. All right, that's exactly what the problem was. I was being perceived as a loser. And it took a long time to finally figure out that that was the issue because your ego is going to get in the way. Your ego is going to tell you that dating in 2025 is cooked, that girls have standards that are way too high, that you're actually a catch when in reality you're not. You will gaslight yourself into thinking that you're a catch when in reality you are not a catch at all. So if you are in a dry spell, if you are in a rut, if you are a virgin, or if you're a guy that's having a lot of trouble getting with women, you really have to take a step back and examine yourself and realize, are you overweight? Yes or no? Are you short? Yes or no? Are you attractive? Are you a handsome guy? Yes or no? Be honest with yourself. Don't ask your mom and don't ask your grandma to tell you if you're attractive. I'm being serious. You know for a fact if you're handsome or not. You know if you're ugly. Let's be real. And I want you to ask yourself, is your style on point? Is your finances on point? Is this on point? Is your body on point, right? Your body, this is something you can control. Are you in good shape? Are you out of shape, right? Are you putting yourself out there? Are you meeting girls? Yes or no? If you aren't meeting women, if you're not talking to any women at all, you have no girls in your life, I don't want to hear it. Your dating life is going to be shit because you have no prospects. It's like trying to sell a product but you don't have any advertising. If nobody knows that you exist, you're also going to have a struggle with women because they don't know that you exist. They don't know who you are, right? If you're not meeting new girls, if you don't have a social media that's popping, if you're not part of a friend group where you're meeting females, or if you're not putting yourself out there in the clubs or asking girls out, women are not going to know about you, and nothing is going to happen. You're not going to get relationships. You're not going to get any experiences. And this is a problem that you really, really have to just become self-aware and really accept that, okay, you know what? I think I am actually lacking in several crucial areas. So once you become self-aware and you've identified, all right, so I'm lacking. I don't have a very good social life. I'm out of shape and my finances are out of whack. Those are 3 things that are going to lead to you having a rough time meeting girls or finding a girlfriend or whatever. So if those things are out of whack, you need to fix them. And this is what I had to do. So falling into a rut was a blessing in disguise for me. Falling into a dry spell, discovering the red pill, discovering self-improvement. That's what saved me. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened and how self-improvement got me out of this rut or dry spell, and what I started noticing once the self-improvement gains started happening. So first things first, I cut out porn, I cut out marijuana, I started working out, and I just started taking care of myself, and I started educating myself and getting myself out there, putting myself out there, becoming social, becoming a charismatic person, and cutting out all addictions, cutting out distractions. I quit video games. I quit jacking off, masturbating. So what did this lead to? This led to a lot of positive changes in my life. I became more handsome. I became easier to talk to. I had more confidence talking to girls. I wasn't scared to talk to them. I wasn't giving off creep vibes because I wasn't acting thirsty, because I wasn't watching porn, and I wasn't so dependent on the outcome of the conversation, or that I was thinking about sex with this woman because I had quit the porn, I quit the smoking. The mental clarity and the confidence, women definitely noticed that, and they definitely started treating me different. So during this dry spell, I was at the heights of degeneracy, and I didn't even realize it. I had reached the height of my degeneracy. And my degenerate methods, the degenerate way of living that I was living, was repelling women and potential partners. So, and I wasn't self-aware to realize that. And this is what happens to a lot of guys that are stuck, that are not seeing results, that are not getting any action, that are coming up short, that are not getting any pussy, not getting any play. You need to come to realize that there's something wrong with you. There's something really, really wrong with you that you need to fix, that you really need to fix, okay? So what happened when the self-improvement gains started happening, all right? You know, I was better looking, I was cleaner, I was more self-aware, right? You know, at first off, it wasn't like an immediate change, but I went from absolutely no female contact whatsoever to finally, you know, kind of, you know, being friends with girls, you know, becoming reconnected with women. You know, I even went on a few dates. I even met a few girls at public events that, you know, a few of them didn't lead to anything, but it started off slow like that. I started going on dates again, right? This is something I couldn't even do when I was, you know, in that dry spell. It felt impossible to even get a girl out, right? So it started off slow like that, you know, going on a few dates, meeting girls in public, having some flirtatious encounters, you know, and really looking back, even though, you know, no sex came of it, I did start noticing little things happening here and there. Okay, oh, this girl thinks you're cute. Oh, you know, she actually gave you some attention. You know, you went out on a date. Even if it didn't lead to sex, even if it didn't lead to a relationship, it was still something. It was showing, okay, you know, something's changing here. Something is changing. You know, there's women that are actually, I'm being able to get my foot in the door, right? I'm able to get my foot in the door, okay? So, and eventually, yes, I actually did end up sleeping with a few women, and getting back into the game of actually having pussy again, right? All of my life, when I was like a young teenager till like 17, 18 years old, I never had a problem getting with girls. I never had a problem with pussy. It was easy. But when I had reached this degenerate point in my life, and I'm here to tell you guys, you could slay and you could be getting girls and you could be getting pussy and everything, and it can all vanish like that if you become a loser. And that's what happened to me. I went from being this cool guy or whatever in school, and then I became a loser in the adult world. That led me into a massive dry spell, and then I had to relearn how to become an adult that actually had value, an adult that was attractive, and that's what was missing. So yeah, and I started sleeping with some girls again after the self-improvement stuff started happening. It became easier. I wasn't forcing things anymore. I wasn't trying so hard to get pussy, and it finally started coming. And I'll tell you what, during the dry spell, I was so thirsty for attention, and I wanted to break it so bad that I would actually end up scaring girls off, because they could probably smell the desperation. They could smell the desperation that I wasn't getting any play, and it actually repelled them. So what's crazy is, yeah, you'll be in a dry spell and you'll actually repel them even more because you're not getting any pussy. You'll act in a way that is unnatural. You will act in a way that is not a man that has options, right? We've all heard of this, the scarcity mindset versus the abundance mindset. Okay? It's that law of dating and sex that if you're getting pussy actively, if you're actively getting pussy, it's easier to get pussy because you already have it in your dominion and you're not going to act weird. Versus, you haven't had pussy in a while, you're going to act differently. You're going to act more desperate. You're going to act weird. You're going to give off these creepy vibes. And especially when you watch porn. And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, if you watch porn and you're in a dry spell, that is one of the first things you got to take care of. That is one of the first things you have to fix, because it does give you creep vibes. It's going to make you think about sex all the time. It's going to make you act a certain way around women. It's going to make you thinking sexually around almost every female option you have. Sometimes you have to let women come at you at their own pace, right? This is a trick that I learned from an expert in dating, but you cannot, sometimes when you're talking to women or you have women in your life, you have to let them come at you at their pace, right? Trying to rush, trying to get the pussy, trying to seal the deal can ruin so many relationships, can ruin so many encounters. There could be women that are actually interested in you, that think you're attractive, but because you're so desperate to close the deal, because you're so desperate to get them in bed, you actually end up scaring them off. And that's what happens when you're desperate. Any options that you do end up getting, you end up burning those bridges. You end up fucking it up because you're just too desperate. You're acting weird. You're acting like a creep. You're just thinking about sex. Versus whenever you're not watching porn, whenever you become free of the desperation, whenever you see pussy as just this other thing, and that your life is so much more than just sex, than just relationships, then it becomes easier. Then you let women come at you at their own pace. They open themselves up to you. They start flirting with you. They start making moves on you instead of the other way around. They start, putting little hints out there that they want you to make a move on them, because you're just going and you're enjoying your life and you're just living and you're a normal guy. And I've noticed this, when you're not acting desperate, women are so much more likely to make the first move. They will start flirting with you. They will throw little crumbs out there. They will do things, and I'll make a video about this. They will do small things to get you into their presence. Maybe that's hanging out with them. Maybe they start some flirting bullshit, right? So that's my experience with abundance versus scarcity and being in a rut, being in a dry spell. And being in a dry spell fucking sucks, guys. It really does. If you're in a dry spell, book a coaching call with me down below. I have a link a Calendly link down below. If you are in a dry spell, book a call with me, book a consultation. We're going to go through everything, and we are going to identify what are your main problems, just like I did. We have to figure out, and sometimes having a third party, having a third person, someone that's been through this before, can really help you. You really need to have someone outside from you to look at your life and look at where you're at and identify what are your problems, right? So really think about this, because if you try to examine yourself, you can get a pretty good picture, but getting examined by someone else, someone who knows what they're doing, someone who has been through this stuff before, is going to give you those answers so much faster than if you just try to figure it out on your own. Someone who's going to point out that you are indeed fucking up, that you are wasting your life, or you're doing something completely wrong, self-sabotaging, sabotaging your relationships, you know, your dating life, your body, your mind. Sometimes you do need to hear harsh words from someone that does care about you, or someone that has your interest at heart, in order to wake up, snap back into reality, and become truly self-aware as to what the fuck you're doing to yourself, as to what road that you're going down. So if you're in a dry spell, I really want you guys to ask yourself these few things. Okay, am I as handsome as what women are looking for nowadays? Am I actually attractive? Yes or no? Is your body in shape? Yes or no? Are you spending your time wisely? I'm talking doing productive things, not playing video games, not watching fucking TV, not jacking off. Yes or no? Are you watching porn? Yes or no? Are you addicted to substances? Yes or no? Right? And I'm serious. No, check this out. Like, once you start going down a list like that, once you really start identifying these things, you'll be like, damn, bro, like, I'm overweight. I am financially not in a good spot. I smoke weed every day. I play fucking video games every day. I'm a loser. When you reach that point, the best way to start your self-improvement journey, if you've never been on self-improvement, or you've never been in self-development or trying to ascend, the best point you can be at when you start is the acceptance that you are a loser. And I'm not lying to you guys. When I accepted that I was a loser and it was my fault, and that I was in the position that I was because of me, nobody else, not the world, not women, not this, not the man keeping me down. When I really accepted that I was a loser because of my own making, it will free you. It will liberate you. It gives you the ability to completely change and to completely become a new human being. Because those first stages of self-improvement, when you do accept you're a loser, you leave your old life behind. You start cutting off people that you don't need. You start cutting out bad habits that you don't need. It is a struggle, and I'm not gonna lie. These, other YouTubers and people that talk about this kind of stuff make it sound like it's some shit that's easy or whatever. Oh, just quit the video games, bro. Just quit the... No, it's hard. This journey can last months, years. It's a journey of a lifetime. And once you get on this journey, you do realize it is a lifelong journey, because there's always new things to do. There's always flaws that you can find. There's always better ways to improve. You can improve a lot and you can regress. I have videos about this. You could be really good on a self-improvement journey and you could fall behind. You could fall back into a rut. Something could happen where you just start slacking off on your self-improvement goals and you just stop giving a shit. And then you wake up one day and you're like, fuck, dude, I just lost a bunch of progress. I just fucking gained back that weight. But here's the important thing. You have to come back to self-awareness. You have to come back and you have to realize and become self-aware whenever you do fall into these ruts, and really reevaluate and be like, it's my fault. I fucked up. I fucking dropped the ball. I fucking was supposed to, lose weight. Now I'm still fucking fat. Months later, right? You haven't made any progress. And it's okay, guys. Humans do not just go on an upward trajectory all the time. We go up and down, up and down, up and down. But the important thing is that you accept that this is a lifelong journey, and that you're not afraid to put in the work, that you're not afraid to see that the other side really is better. Life on self-improvement, stoicism, discipline, it really is better. It is better. You feel better inside. You feel more pure. You feel happier. You feel more content with your life. So all in all, yes, all this stuff will change your life. And if you're in a dry spell, it's probably because you're a loser. So if you're a loser, book a call down below. If you really want to know for sure, book a coaching call with yours truly. Leave a comment, subscribe, like the video. Let me know if you guys have had a similar experience, if y'all are on a self-improvement journey, and if you've seen the same thing. Tell me a story about your longest dry spell down below, and I'll see you guys later.